Okay everyone, in this video we're going to get into the evolution of drop servicing and how drop services around the world are able to add value to the marketplace while still living that life of freedom. You see, drop services sell high quality services delivered by a completely virtual team to companies who need these services. We're able to leverage the freedom of communication, time, and location given to us by the internet to contact decision makers around the world and sell them services delivered by the digital team we built. Leveraging simple economics, we're able to deliver high quality services at a low price because we hire teams in poorer countries and sell their services in richer countries. This enables us to provide an irresistible offer to our clients, dominating the competition, all the while automating this process with software and people so we can live a life of freedom. We're going to detail drop servicing and the evolution the typical drop servicer goes through. We're also going to start off by going over what a drop servicer is, because a lot of people have different definitions and views on it, but they're often wrong. So we're going to get very clear on what exactly a drop servicer is. Then I'm going to break down the different stages of the journey, because as you go through this process of transformation and gain more knowledge and skills, when it comes to drop servicing, you're going to go through these different stages of evolution and you'll really be able to leverage this knowledge and skill to achieve massive results at different stages of the journey. Most people think it's impossible to have a real business driving six figures without working all day in an office filled with your employees. Most people think it's impossible to manage a massively successful business without working yourself to the bone 24/7. This is because most service-based businesses do have fancy offices and need a lot of people to deliver these services, so they have massive costs holding them at the bottom of the ocean like an anchor. This is going to bring a lot of clarity for you, because I'm sure you've seen people doing what you want to do before and you've been like, how did they get there? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. So by the end, you'll understand exactly what a successful drop servicing business is and how to get there. So let's start off by defining how most people or society views work and a lifestyle. The way things usually go is you go to school and get a qualification in something, then hopefully after that you might land a job in something related to whatever degree you got. The goal is to work more hours than anyone else to get a raise or promotion from your boss, or maybe just not get fired. Then once you get that raise or bonus or whatever, you can then upgrade the stuff you own or buy more stuff to impress your neighbors. Then, now that you've got that, you'll want to go ahead and work even harder and smarter than everyone else on the team so you can get that next promotion, then get even more stuff to finally be happy. Society basically tells you you need to sell your time in exchange for money to buy more stuff. Now, in the past, this was the only option for most lucky people out there. The only people who didn't have to work for their time were investors and business owners. In order to get into this class of people, you had to either be born into it or claw your way through the mud and eat glass in order to be one of the free members of society that didn't need to live by the rules. But today things are different. The internet has given the same option of total freedom to anyone willing to go through the process, and that process is much easier now. You don't need fancy offices or employees or to work 24/7 to manage a successful business. We now have freedom of communication, location, and time. We can build a system that makes money for us so we can do what we want to do with our lives instead of living for someone else's dreams. Drop servicing is really what enables us to live that life of freedom, and it's still really a secret society. They don't want us to know about it. You're not going to learn this in school or books or YouTube or in any other training program on the internet. It's nowhere but right here. You're in the perfect place right now, because here you're about to learn the fundamentals of creating a value generating system. How you can simply place yourself within the flows of money going around the world right now like clockwork. Unplug from the matrix and plug in to the billions of transactions taking place between sellers of services and buyers of services right right now. You're going to understand how to do this and the reason that it works and will continue to do so until the economy is no longer a thing. How going with the market will make you rich and trying to be special will make you poor. You're going to learn why you simply need to find what is working in the market right now and go with that rather than creating something from scratch. We're going to talk about the market and what it is. We're going to talk about why if you try and fight it, you're just going to end up drowning. There's been people with billions of dollars and they've been near the point of genius and they've tried to fight the market and they just get it handed to them. It doesn't matter. You can't fight the market, and I'm going to show you why you can't. However, if you get it right and you go with the market, if you swim with it, it'll make you rich. By going with the market, you can make building an online business effortless. And that's the process you're going to learn in this course. The times of having to buy a fancy office and invest a ton of money to start a business are over. You can now start from zero and grow a business very quickly, and we'll be revealing this process from start to finish when it comes to becoming a drop servicer. You're going to learn how to harness the power of building a real digital business by deploying a drop servicing system that funds your freedom. So let's get into the stages of evolution that drop services go through in transforming from being a complete newbie, not knowing anything about online business or any business for that matter, all the way through to owning a fully automated six-figure drop servicing business that funds a life of freedom. Freelancers, creating a job for yourself, building a team for yourself, and then fully automating every single piece of your business. I'm going to walk you through the evolutionary stages and the different models used at each stage. We're going to talk about your journey and the journey that lies ahead for you as a drop servicer and what to expect along the way. And when I show you this journey, you'll be able to determine where you're on it right now. You might just be getting started, or you could already be advanced, but you're going to be able to see exactly where you're at in the journey, then backwards engineer where you need to go in order to get where you want to be. But first, you need to get an in-depth understanding around what drop servicing is and how it actually creates value in the market. With the knowledge you're going to get in this training, you're going to see how to grow, keep growing, and scale up your business as you transform through the different stages. And it's going to be very eye-opening because no one's ever really covered what's in this training. It's all very new. Online business has changed. It used to be that you needed a fancy office and have to take your clients out to dinner to close deals. Now it can all be done online without you there. Times have really changed, and I've really shook up the business service industry with these new rules for building a fully virtual and automated service-based business. You're about to learn how these new rules are changing everything and how you're going to deploy them, because times are really changing right now, and luckily for you, you're a part of that wave of change that's crashing through all of the old ways of doing business. It's really important that you understand what this wave of change is. So I'm going to break it all down in depth in this video. And let's start with a definition of drop servicing. So if you think about selling services from one company to another, there are a ton of misconceptions around it, right? First of all, everyone thinks you need to rent a fancy office, then hire a large team of people to actually do the work. Then you need to go to events or meetings with potential clients like on Mad Men. Then they think that they need to have all these qualifications and skills and go to university to learn all about business and how to build a business. Another misconception is that in order to build a successful business, you're going to need to work 24/7 forever or something. Well, that's not the case for us. We don't need an office. We don't need employees. We don't need skills, knowledge, or experience. All we need is a laptop and an internet connection. So we find potential clients and teams, and we're essentially connecting them. We're finding clients that need a service, and then we're taking a team that can deliver that service and connecting that service to that client, providing it to them. And better yet, our teams are from cheaper countries, which allows us to get that massive profit between the cost of our teams and the price our clients are willing to pay. Once we get those first few clients and verify our offer, we can blast out our offer across a large range of marketing channels. So we sell high value services to small, medium, and big companies around the world and hire freelancers to deliver the services. We're selling services leveraging the internet and difference in prices around the world to deliver high quality services to clients at the best price. You see, the internet has enabled us to communicate with anyone around the world, and this means we can get in contact with a CEO who needs a website and a web designer who needs a job, then connect those two through our business and its potent marketing. With the prevalence of the internet, we're now a global economy, which gives us an immense purchasing power. We can hire someone in the Philippines where labor costs are low to deliver a service for a client in New York where the prices are high, whilst we live in Poland where our money goes a lot further. This gives us a competitive advantage against local service providers and agencies because their costs to deliver services are much higher than ours. A country where labor costs are low doesn't necessarily mean that the talent is low too. There are very talented and skilled service providers around the world. We just hire in lower income countries to be able to offer services at unbeatable prices whilst keeping high margins. This way, we can beat our competitors on price easily while delivering services of similar or even better quality. Leveraging differences in prices around the world, our money can go a lot further, enabling us to make a massive profit on a very small number of clients and live a much higher standard of living. On top of this capability we have for all of our business to be done over the internet, it enables us to fully automate our business so that we can get full freedom whilst our business runs in the background. We can do what we want, with who we want, where we want. Drop servicing is made possible by freedom of communication, freedom of location, and freedom of time. Now, in terms of freedom of communication, for example, we can contact companies and connect them with our team that delivers the service they need. This team works for us, and we have a project manager who manages communication between the two. Freedom of location allows us to live wherever we want because our business is fully online, right? We don't need to be stuck in one location for work, which is pretty revolutionary considering how much of life work takes up and that 99.999% of people are stuck in one location, mainly because of work and family. Because often people move for work and take their family, right? For example, I live in Poland where I get a solid 3.8 times more out of my money because I earn in US dollars, even though I'm from New Zealand. You know, this setup is pretty rare. Then you have freedom of time. Not only can you work where you want, but because your business is fully online, you can remove yourself with people and software to give you complete freedom of time. So you can do what you want instead of being tied to the 9-to-5 job. So why does it work? Well, at any given time, companies around the world are spending billions of dollars on services. Companies need a lot of things done, but they don't have the knowledge and skills within the company, so the majority of the time, they look outside to fill positions to deliver these services. Most companies even have a dedicated budget for this that they're assigned every quarter that they need to spend. So companies need external help and they're spending a lot on it. But why would they work with you? Well, there's a large range of companies out there, right? Small, medium, and large. They all have different budgets and needs when it comes to the services they're after. And if you're able to provide the level of quality they're after at a lower price, then local companies, they're going to buy from you. And that's really why they buy from you. They can't get it on their own. Because first of all, there's an inability to get there on their own. Next, they don't want to expend too much time and energy on getting it from someone else. So often just by being there, you're 50% more likely to get it based on research done by a company called Up in Sales. They just want to get it done fast and easy so they don't have to think too much about it. Intelligent people understand that they don't have the knowledge required to get the results themselves, and it will take a lot longer if they don't have someone else to show them the way. So it saves them a lot of time by getting help from you, so they don't have to make all of the mistakes and figuring it out themselves. Finally, they want someone to do it who knows how to get the result and has done it before themselves, because if they've done it, then they'll be able to tell you how to do it too. So the 3 reasons people hire businesses to deliver services for them are: 1, they don't have the ability to get there themselves; 2, they want to get the result faster; and 3, they want the proven system. In the end, there are different segments of every market, right? So even though your freelancers are on Upwork or any of the other networking sites, it doesn't mean your client is going to go there searching for the work and find that freelancer. First of all, most companies don't use these freelancer sites. They prefer to work with companies as it's a more structured and certain way of doing things, and people like certainty. Second of all, different companies have different budgets. So some may be looking to spend $10,000 on a website, so they'll go with a fancy agency. Others may be looking to spend $1,000, so they go on Upwork. Then further still, may be looking to spend nothing, so they do it themselves, poorly. You're not working with that segment of the market looking to go to these freelancer sites or do it themselves. You're working with a segment that wants a professional to handle the job for them. Third, you're a marketer. You're presenting and positioning your service in the best way in comparison to competitors, which makes you premium and the best. Your clients are often not even searching for what you're offering. They just know in the back of their minds that they need it. So when you come to them with a killer offer, it's a miracle to them because they get to save all this time and no longer have to go and find the perfect company for it, because here you are. Being in the right place at the right time is really how you get the majority of clients, which is why putting your offer out there as much as possible is all that really matters. We're finding solutions that companies need, then offering it to them at the best price on the market in a completely done for you manner, so they get to save both time and money. So how big is it? Well, the US business services sector consists of around 410,000 businesses. So these are single location companies and units of multi-location companies with combined annual sales of about $770 billion. Using data from listed companies, we can estimate the size of the global market to be around $1.2 trillion. This is almost certainly an underestimate though, as it ignores the market share of unlisted companies. An alternative methodology though uses economic data, puts the size of the global market at around $5 trillion. This is almost certainly an overestimate, but is more likely close to the truth in the listed company's approach. So that's a huge number, right? $5 trillion. I don't think any of us need even 1% of that to be happy, right? To be able to do everything we've ever dreamed of and live that life of freedom, and even those around us, help them out. Because this market is so huge and only growing, it's absolutely nothing for us to enter the market and plug into those money flows going on around the world and get a small piece of the pie. We're going to be able to live that life of freedom and contribution that we're after. So why this is awesome for us, right? First of all, there may be a lot of companies, but the market is so huge and there's so many marketing channels for reaching this market that any new company entering is really just a drop in the ocean. Second, because we're drop servicing, our costs are significantly lower than our competitors. So we only need to plug in and generate a small chunk of the pie to hit our freedom profit number, the money we actually get to keep. Third, once we learn how to set up one of these systems, we can do it again and again and again, because the system around each service is largely the same, especially when it comes to marketing. And this similarity makes automating the business very easy. So you can automate multiple systems to scale horizontally. The point being, this market is huge and the ways to reach the market are huge. So we don't need to rely on one marketing channel like Facebook. And on top of that, we don't need to constantly be getting new clients, because to hit our target income, we only need to get a few clients paying us on a monthly basis. So what's the future of drop servicing? Well, as the structure and systems of companies become more remote and digital, they encounter greater efficiencies, which means lower costs. The goal of any business is to maximize profits. So greater efficiencies through remote and digital structures and systems like a drop servicing business have become a powerful leverage point for many companies. This is why we're seeing a trend of companies becoming 100% virtual over the past 5 years, and it's continuing to grow. Yet the growth curve is still at the very beginning. Just take the statistics on having a website as an indicator for how digital a company is, right? 6 out of every 10 small businesses don't have a website for their business. 19% of business owners without a website believe that their business would grow 25% in 3 years or less with the benefit of a website. So most companies don't have a website, but they know they need a website. And most companies don't even have a web presence in 2018, right? So it's 2019 now. This is growing and growing and growing. Most companies don't have digital marketing. They don't have an online presence because they don't have the skills and knowledge on how to do it. But here you are with that skills and knowledge as your team to be able to deliver it to them, right? So they know they need it and are waiting there for you to go and offer them your services. On top of this, the IDC estimates that the worldwide market opportunity created by digitization is worth a staggering $20 trillion, right? That's well over 20% of global GDP. Digital transformation is taking hold of every aspect of companies today, defined as the integration of digital technology into all areas of business, fundamentally changing how you operate and deliver value to customers. It's also cultural change, right? It requires organizations to continually challenge the status quo, experiment, and get comfortable with failure. And this comes down to you too as a person. So companies are not yet fully digital, far from it actually, but they are increasingly becoming so. And this transformation will only become more rapid. On top of this, working remotely is also on the rise. Managers and leaders are now twice as likely to work remotely compared to individual contributors. On the other hand, these individual contributors do spend more time teleworking, meaning like working at home, working remotely. And then a FlexJobs survey found that 85% of millennials want to work from home 100% of the time. So most people want to work from home now. And then on top of that, businesses can save up to $11,000 per employee every year just by allowing them to work from home, right? So businesses save money by making their jobs more remote, which is a good thing for these businesses. Businesses want to make more profit, and saving on costs allows them to do so. So both employees want to work remote and businesses want their employees to work remote because it's better for their profit. And then in terms of productivity, most employees feel like working from home makes them work better, makes them more productive. So working remotely is better for the employees and the companies. And remember what I said about efficiency and profit maximization being the key goal of all companies, right? Being fully digital and virtual in operations and marketing makes companies much more profitable. Because of this, we're seeing a massive revolution in companies becoming more virtual. The trouble is, these companies don't know how to become virtual. So as we drop services hone our skills at building online businesses, we're going to be able to command a massive amount of work from companies seeking to go virtual themselves. You see, the trend for drop servicing is not only will it become even more accepted in that there will be a lot more clients moving online, and that will mean a greater pool of clients for us to choose from, but there will also be a greater number of needs these clients have for us to deliver on a silver platter. Drop servicing will be a powerful skill that we can leverage to deliver solutions to these newly minted online business problems. So what exactly is the model and how does it work? Well, a pure drop servicing business involves you as the business owner, and you're going to create an offer based on what you see the market wants, which you're going to build based on what your competitors are doing, and then you're going to find teams that can deliver that offer to these clients. And once we have those two pieces in place, we can go out there and start offering the services to clients by building a range of marketing channels. Finally, we automate everything using people and software so we can truly take control of the freedom that we're after, right? So what is the typical evolution a drop servicer needs to go through in order to transform from someone with no skills, knowledge, or experience to having a six-figure online business that only requires a few hours a week maintenance? Because the drop servicer always starts out finding a service that's selling well in the market. We don't reinvent the wheel. We find what works first, what people need now, then give the people what they want. Once we've found a service that's selling well, we research what other competitors are doing in the market so we can see exactly how others have been offering the service to the marketplace. We do this because our competitors have spent thousands of dollars figuring out the best way to deliver a service, right? So it makes things much faster for us and much easier to come in and dominate, basing what we do on what's working. Then we can test things later and figure out new possibilities after. Next, we research what freelance teams are doing in the market, what they're offering, at what levels of quality and at what price. This will give us the margin between what our competitors are offering versus what our team is offering. So once we figure out what our competitors charge for a given offering and what our freelancers would charge for the exact same offer, we have our margin. So if competitors are charging $10,000 and our freelancers are charging $1,000, we have a $9,000 margin to play with. We might decide to undercut our competitors by $4,000 and charge $5,000 for a $4,000 profit. As drop services, we can offer the market a much better price at a much lower cost for us, so we still make a massive profit. And then after that, we create an offer based on the difference between the two, making this offer extremely irresistible by coming at our market with a much lower price than they used to. They feel they'd be stupid not to go with our offer. It's such a great deal, they better get it now. We can take this offer to the market just to test out how much people want it and tweak it until it starts converting. Once we get our first few clients and know that our offer is working, we can then scale up the volume of offers we put out into the market as much as possible. This comes with some testing as well, and we simply scale up the volume of offers we put out there until we reach our target freedom income. As we get more clients, we perfect the delivery of our service and begin to automate the system with people and software so we can simply focus on managing the system to keep the machine running smoothly. From there, we simply automate as much as we need to have as much free time as we want and scale our marketing as much as we need to have whatever income we want. So how does building a team work? Well, the first step is usually to hire a freelancer on a project-by-project basis. The beautiful thing about being a drop servicer is, in the beginning, you don't need to invest anything into buying a product, hiring a team, marketing, or software. I mean, you can if you want, but if you're starting off with $0 to invest in your business, you can go from that to 6 figures and just use the profit from your sales to fund your growth. This is especially true when it comes to building a team. Rather than having to go through this massive process of finding the right people for the job, training them to do it, then paying them a salary month after month, which is a pretty massive risk, right? You can instead find potential freelancers that could possibly be able to do the job for you, then have them ready and waiting for when you have a project. Then once you do have a project, you pay them on a per project basis, meaning you're just paying them for the work that they are doing. Usually this is done by paying them 50% up front before the project begins and 50% on delivery once the project has been delivered. This seems to work best and is the way I usually recommend doing it. And some tasks like project management may be more suited to paying per hour. It's up to you really, but rather than paying $15 to $20 for a project manager by hiring someone just as good in the Philippines, you can pay as little as $5 an hour for a good project manager. Mine even handles calls with clients and everything. So step 2 is hiring a freelancer full time. After a while working together, you can put your freelancer on a contract to provide you with work exclusively if you want. By providing a freelancer with a steady stream of projects, you're building up a lot of negotiating power, because rather than having them spend hours and hours out there searching for clients, you can provide those clients directly to them. And better yet, your project manager handles all client communication, so your freelancer saves even more time. This is why over time you can command much higher prices by agreeing to provide your freelancer with a given number of projects. Next, you could even have your own office and team if it was something that you really wanted. I know some of you actually like the idea of getting an office and an in-house team, and this is something you can definitely do if you really want to. I mean, some people just prefer it, and that's totally cool too. It's not much different really, as most likely you'll still have your offshore teams and your main headquarters handling all the high-level management stuff, but you can easily get to 6 figures just by reaching step 1. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? The key thing is to figure out what is already working in the market and use that as the roadmap for making your thing work. Most people fail when building a business because they try ideas they think people want or they think might work, or they don't even get started because they think that they need this magical super creative idea. But this is a massive mistake. Doing something that's never been done before is a surefire way to end up with a bunch of arrows in your back trying to convince everyone they need it. You can't base a business around what you think might work, or not start one because you can't think of something. That's going against the market. Go with the market. Do something other others are already doing to get success, because that's going to get you success as well. Go to the market and see what it's selling, how it's being sold, how it's being delivered, then backwards engineer it better and bring it to market yourself. All you need to do is set up a system that works and plug it into the money flows that are flying around right now. Trillions of dollars are being transacted, right? And you only need a small piece of this to make something for yourself. So you can invent desire, but that makes things a lot more difficult for yourself, right? Instead, find where the desire already is and plug into it to get those same results. You don't need to create the next Uber, Facebook, or Google to live a life of freedom and truly live the lifestyle you want. All you need is a consistent stream of sales to replace your income, because money won't make you happy, but of course you've got to make all the money to decide that for yourself. So let's do that. All we're doing is tapping into a desire in the market that already exists, then driving some of that desire into our irresistible offer. So I wanted to give you guys an example of a drop servicing business, and this is a really crazy, massive example because it is a very big company. It's estimated they do around 5 million per year, which is pretty big, right? You don't need that much to be happy and live a life of freedom at all, right? We only really need to get to 6 figures to get to that point, and that's really all our goal is here. But using an amazing example like this will help you realize how easy it is when you work out what the market wants and then give it what it wants. So Superside was launched in late 2015, and it's a multi-million-dollar business, like I mentioned, providing an on-demand creative service for close to 3,000 companies. So basically what they do is they get freelancers that do design, and they connect to those freelancers with large companies, a lot of them in the Fortune 500. CEO Frederick Thomasson, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right. I think he's from Sweden, if I remember correctly. But he built Superside because at his company they found themselves doing a lot of stuff they weren't good at, and finding talent on Upwork and Fiverr was time consuming and low quality. So they basically created a solution corporates can use by being on demand, guaranteeing results and ensuring confidentiality. So they're solving the exact same problem that your drop servicing business is, because companies don't want to work with random freelancers. They want to work with companies that have guaranteed results and that can get the work done for them in a professional manner. So Superside is a really good example of drop servicing, because essentially what they've been able to do is productize a service in that they bring together all of these designers, and what they do is they have 3 payment plans, and these payment plans are basically you purchase a certain amount of design hours, and then you have to keep purchasing those to get more and more. So it's a recurring service, quite scalable, and you can set up your business like this too. It's an awesome example, right? Because these guys are doing like $5 million a year, and they have a massive company, but they're essentially just doing drop servicing. They're just putting together a team of freelancers and delivering services to companies. And it's really inspiring, because we don't need to do that much to gain our freedom, but they're a shining example that drop servicing can scale big. But if you're like me, freedom will be enough though. So let's do that first, right? And here's a really important as well. So they say, we're essentially based nowhere. Our flexible and distributed work arrangements have opened up job opportunities in marginalized communities around the globe, allowing us to amass a global task force of more than 120 creatives spanning 6 continents, 58 countries, and 19 time zones. So essentially, they're positioning the fact that they have a virtual team in a good way, saying that they're helping these communities by getting high-skilled workers around the world, which is a really great way to position your own service too. So I would recommend doing the same thing. And they tried every kind of service as well. You know, they did 3D rendering, they did transcriptions, everything under the sun. And the beautiful thing about it is they came down to design and decide that was their favorite one and worked from there. And that's kind of what we're doing in this course too. We're figuring out which service we prefer to offer, and we can go from there, because what you're doing in this course is learning how to build a drop servicing business. And once you learn the process, learn the steps, you can replicate it in any service you want. You can see here as well, they started off really broad in terms of their niche, but then they figured out that the people that were the best clients for them were the ones that went on to the subscriptions, paying them month after month. And then over time, they only focused on those so that they could scale things up very easily with monthly recurring payments. So it's basically about figuring out what kind of companies need that continuous support and then providing them with that support. You can see too that here in this quote, I mean, they moved fast. They didn't muck around. They just focused on putting together a good offer and putting that offer in front of the right people. And that's all that really matters in terms of getting sales. And sales, of course, are the lifeblood of our business. So that's what we focus on. And it's a really good point. You know, you should just focus on getting a website up, getting an offer together, and then putting it out into the market as much as you can. So basically they have clients that submit work to Superside, then Superside provides that work to the freelance teams. It's pretty simple, and that's how drop servicing works, which is why it's so beautiful, because you're essentially the middleman, but being the middleman is really the most valuable part of the process. They have project managers as well, and those project managers immediately respond to clients and oversee the entire order handling process. And that's exactly what you're going to do in your drop servicing business. You're going to have the project manager managing the communication between the client and the team. So Superside is a great example of an extremely automated and scaling drop servicing business. Sure, they're much more advanced than we need to be and want to be, but from a basic standpoint, they prove the point that companies want to work with companies that can provide high quality at a low price. By building a drop servicing business, we can drive six figures whilst only working a few hours per week to attain that freedom we're after. And then who knows, maybe we'll decide to become the next Superside. So now that you get the general idea behind how a drop servicing business works, right? Essentially having freelancers around the world as your production team, delivering a service for clients around the world at a much better price than those clients are able to get in their home country, which most companies are used to working with. And even though they are used to working entirely online now, generally they're doing it with companies in their own country. But in saying that, it's much more normal now to do business internationally, which is why it's so easy for us to get clients internationally. So take Powerful Sales Video, for example. What we're doing essentially is taking freelancers from lower cost labor countries and then putting them together in a team, and those freelancers charge us a much lower price than what our competitors' costs are. So we have much lower costs than our competitors in those countries, right? So that means that we're able to provide a much better price to those clients in those countries. So we're able to compete on price with those clients very easily. Now, the difference between the price our freelancers give us and the price we can charge our clients is what enables us to create that irresistible offer. And what makes that offer irresistible? Well, it's essentially just because that offer is so much cheaper at the same level of quality as our clients are used to getting from their normal companies that they would work with. And the way we're able to do that is, of course, by that difference in labor costs, but the types of offers that enables us to create are usually based on price, right? So with Powerful Sales Video, we usually have that 50% discount that we offer. You can also, for example, like we've done with Direct Impact Digital, offer to waive a fee. So you might see that all of your competitors are having this fee, like a $5,000 fee to set things up. Well, we can say usually we charge $2,000 for this fee, but in this case, we're going to waive it with you if you decide to move forward with us. So that's an irresistible offer. Another one could be saying, hey, we're a new company, and what we're doing is actually producing this or delivering this service at cost, at production cost. So it's essentially free for you. We're just covering our costs because we want a testimonial. And that's a really great reason, really great offer to put together, and it works every time too. And then you can also even go for number 4, which would be offering a free month. For example, if you were doing Facebook advertising, you could bring on new clients by offering them a free month, and then once they see the results from that first month, they'll want to continue on with you. And then over time, you won't need to always do this free month, of course. Over time, you'll be able to charge more and more, because the great thing about drop servicing businesses is we're able to get a few clients to pay us $1,000, $3,000, $6,000 per month, right? So how many clients do we need to have that business that's funding our freedom? Well, only a few, right? Especially if in the beginning you're doing everything yourself in terms of the delivery, but once you get that delivery team, they're still not going to be taking much of that profit as well. So really at the end of the day, what it's going to be is an automated business where your team is handling the delivery of the service, but your client's staying with you month after month. So it's pretty easy to get a few clients, and then you've got the business you want, and then from there you can do what you want, right? So for example, if we wanted to be making $10,000 per month, then our goal could be 4 clients at $2,500 per month. And then we need to figure out, well, what do we need to give those clients for that $2,500 per month, and what is that going to cost us to deliver that service for them? And that's really just takes looking at your competitors, what your competitors are charging, and then looking at your freelancer teams and what they're charging, and you're going to be pretty surprised by the difference. So the next step, once you've got that irresistible offer, is you want to write that piece of copy, right? You want to create that message. So for example, it could be an email or an ad, whatever it may be. And then you're going to put that message out there, put that message in front of your target audience as much as you can, because the only thing that matters in these drop servicing businesses is having an irresistible offer and putting that irresistible offer in front of as many potential clients as possible. And that's going to directly impact the number of sales you get, right? So that's all we really want you to focus on. We go super in depth into this course and really detailed about it, but you don't need all the bells and whistles. At the end of the day, all you need is an irresistible offer, and to put that irresistible offer in front of as many potential clients as possible. And that means choosing even just one of the marketing channels that we cover in this course. And as you know, we cover a lot of the channels here, but on top of that, we're also releasing case studies that are going to show you marketing campaigns that are running right now. However, I just want you to choose one to begin with and then focus on mastering that one channel before moving on to the next. So for example, if you were choosing cold email, it would all be about putting that message out via email as much as possible in front of your target audience. So with Powerful Sales Video, for example, what we did was we started with cold email, and I would actually send the emails manually myself. Then after a month or so, it might have even been a few weeks, I can't remember, I hired a team to send the emails manually for me. And then later on after that, I started using software to send the emails. So I was doing it myself in the beginning, but it was only a couple of hours of work to send a couple of hundred emails, and then I was able to get sales pretty quickly just by doing that. So that's all you need. You just need to have a landing page with all of the things that we cover to have on your landing page, and then have that message that you can send out there to your potential clients. And you can do it yourself in the beginning if you like, for example, with cold email or social outreach, and then you can automate it with software and people like I did. So we're going to be showing you how to do all of that as well in the course. Then over time, once you start putting that message out there, you're going to get your first few sales, and then you'll start to get examples of your work. So for example, with the animated video business, you're going to get pretty high quality examples as well, which can rival your competitors even at a much lower price. So for example, with this video here, my competitors would be charging $5,000 for this, or $10,000, and we charged $2,000 for this. So that's a pretty crazy difference, right? But the thing is, the cost for our competitors to produce a video like this would have been thousands of dollars. For us, it only cost us a few $100s. So that's really where the value lies, and that's really what enables us to have these drop servicing businesses, is just that difference in costs. And then as you get more sales, you're going to get more testimonials too. So you're going to get clients that are really happy with the work that you provided them, and they're going to be giving these testimonials to you left, right, and center, and you can throw them up on your website, and it's pretty endless. We have heaps of these testimonials, and we don't even use all of them on the website. There's just too many. We even have a testimonials page. But yeah, so it's pretty simple, right? Like, you just have a simple offer, and the reason that offer works is just the difference in price that your freelancers charge versus what your competitors charge, and that enables you to give a much better price to your clients. On top of that, we can automate everything with people and software on both the marketing end and then the production end as well. So for example, in Powerful Sales Video, what we do is essentially we have those messages going out. So I have a lead generator, a virtual assistant from the Philippines, who I pay $2.50 an hour, and what she does is basically just generate leads from LinkedIn, and then we send emails to those leads using a software called Woodpecker, and then those leads reply if they're interested. Then the same lead generator sets up a call with the sales team. Then the sales team jumps on a call with the client, and the client buys, right? So once they've made a purchase on the website, the client is redirected to a page where they download a questionnaire. They fill out this questionnaire, and then they email that questionnaire through to us, and then the project manager sets the project up. From there, they go through scripting, voice voiceover, storyboarding, and animation. And basically we have a script writer that writes the script based on that questionnaire, and then we have the animation team and the voiceover artists. So we get the voiceover artists on Fiverr, and the animation team, we've had them for a long time. So I think we got them on Upwork or Freelancer or something. I'm not really sure at this point, but basically we just communicate over Skype and Trello, and everything's done with the project manager handling all of the communication. I don't even look at the projects. So it's all fully automated with people and software, and you can do that for any of these drop servicing businesses too, just like Superside has done with design. And all it takes is a few different software and people to put together into a system that doesn't even cost that much as well. So like I said, the lead generator costs about $2.50 an hour. The project manager costs about $5 an hour. And then the email system costs a few $100s a month, right? So you're looking at maybe around $500 per month for the entire system. And that system generates thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's pretty crazy, right? But of course you can add costs to that. I mean, if you've got multiple marketing channels like Facebook advertising and Google advertising, it will cost a lot more too. And this is a good example of packages too. So what you want to do with these drop servicing businesses, just like Superside has done, is productize your service, right? Because usually with a service, it can be quite hard to tell what's going on. But if you look at Superside, and they have a really nice website as well, like book a call and get started, it's beautiful. And you would kind of assume that, right? Because they are a design company. But the cool thing about it is they have pricing plans. And the great thing about their pricing plans is they mirror exactly what we teach in this course. So you have the Essentials, which is $1,000 per month. So that's kind of their low end offer. And remember, they're targeting massive companies. So for them, that really is a low end offer. Then Standard is their mid-level, so $3,000 a month. And then Enterprise is their big one, so $15,000 a month, right? So what you want to do in your drop servicing business is not just decide to only do the cheap package or only do the premium package. You want to do all three levels. And what that's going to enable you to do is get the market that's interested in the lower price, they have lower budgets, and then get the market also that is interested in paying a lot more for all the bells and whistles, all the fancy things, right? So the great thing about that is you don't miss out on any piece of the market. So what I recommend doing, first of all, is making sure you target all of those tiers. And the way you can determine those tiers is simply by looking at your competitors, looking at what your competitors are charging on the low end, and then looking at what your competitors are charging on the high end. And you can have all of those offers within yours. I recommend only having 3 though, because it will get a little bit too complicated if you have more than that, but I recommend having 3 actually. Like if you have less than 3, it's probably not enough. And the great thing about productizing your service as well, and what I mean by that is just basically turning it into a package. So making it very strict around what is included in each package, because if everything is too customizable, it's too confusing to a potential client and it's not an easy buying decision to make. You want to make it as simple and easy as possible for them to make that buying decision, and the way you do that is by making these packages. So for example, you can see they have 20 to 30 design hours, 60 to 90 design hours, and then custom scope of work, so it could be a lot more than those hours, right? And that is indicated by the bigger price tag as well. It's a lot more than 3,000, right? It's 5 times more, I think, if my math is correct. So the beautiful thing about this is you're making everything simpler for your potential client, so the buying decision is much easier for them. So what you want to do is just determine what needs to be included in your packages. So for example, you can see with ours, with our animated videos, we've got the script, voiceover, animation, and those are the 3 main things. And then with the premium package, we just include all of these extra things here. And with these as well, we charge per second. So what you want to do as well when you're creating your packages, of course, is make sure you base it on your competitors, which we're going to show you how to do, but also just base your prices on what your costs are, right? So with animated videos, the cost is usually per second or per word. So you want to charge per second or per word, because you want to make sure that what you're charging your client will match up with what your freelancers are charging you, and that way your profit margins never get messed up too much, and that's really essential, right? So for example, with videos, the cost is always tied to the length of the video, so we charge by the video. And with Superside, you can see they charge by the hour primarily, right? So what you want to do in that case is charge by the hour, and that's just a really basic way of doing it too. But remember, you always want to base everything around what your competitors are doing. So what you'll do with the lower tier offer is you'll base that on your lower tier competitors, what the cheapest competitors are charging, and they'll usually be charging more than what your freelancers are too, so you'll still have good margins here. And then what your highest quality premium competitors are charging, you can charge here if you want, or you can make it a bit cheaper as well, and then you can tie that into your irresistible offer. So you can see here, this is the powerful sales video offer page, the irresistible offer page, and you can basically get your animated marketing video discounted 50% today, and if they hit this get started button, it takes them down here and then they can see the discount, right? And then the great thing about this is we also have the homepage where it shows the normal prices, so that's perfect because you're basically giving them that point of reference. You always want to show them that your prices are real, right? Like you want to show them the homepage where they see the real prices, and then the discounted page where they see the price drop. And the reason for that is you're essentially anchoring that original price in their mind, and then they're comparing that discounted price to their anchored price, the original price, and then they see the big difference, and that makes them want to buy because it's a great deal, and we all want a great deal. So you guys get that, right? You basically have freelancer teams that charge you less than what you can charge for, and then you have competitors that are charging a lot more than you are, and that's what makes your drop servicing business work, first of all, in terms of the pricing. But because of that, you're also able to create these irresistible offers, like those 4 examples I gave you, the 50% discount offer, the app production cost offer, the free month offer, and then the waiving the setup fee offer, right? So those are 4 examples that you can do. And then you want to have different packages. So you want to have a low tier offer, a mid tier offer, and a high tier offer based on what you've seen your competitors charging. And then within those 3 offers, you want to make sure that they're productized. And what that really means is just that you've put some boundaries around what is included. You've written down everything that is included so that when they make the purchase, it's simpler for them and it's easier for them to get started because they don't need to determine every possible thing that is included, right? And remember as well to always tie your prices to what your costs are determined by. So with videos, that's the length of the video. You tie the length of the video to the cost of the video. And that's the beautiful thing about it, right? Like if you have a few clients, like for example with Superside, if you have a few clients paying you $3,000 per month, that's all you need, right? Because your production team's probably only charging $300 per month for what you're delivering. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is you're able to charge a lot less than your competitors are, but still make a massive profit because your freelancer costs are a lot less than what your competitors' costs are. That's the beautiful thing about these businesses, and they're so simple to set up, right? Because all you're doing is creating that irresistible offer and then using a marketing channel, might be cold email, to put that offer in front of as many potential clients as possible. And then once you've got a few clients that are paying you month after month, that's all you need. Your work is done, right? And you can stop at that point if you want, or you can keep marketing and build the business bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's so easy to set up these little systems and get a few sales coming in and have a few clients paying you thousands of dollars a month to deliver services without you having to deliver the services, just because you have the people and software to do it. So that's how simple it really needs to be, guys. All you need is that irresistible offer, and to put that irresistible offer in front of as many potential clients as possible. And I know I keep saying that over and over again, but I want to make it clear that really is how simple it is. And I know in this course we go super in depth and we get pretty crazy with the amount of detail that we go into, but the reason is I want to provide you with all of the information you need to make it as complicated as you want, but just try and keep it simple as well in the beginning until you get those first few clients, and then you can go from there. You know, the sky is your limit. So the beautiful thing as well is I'm going to be providing you with every single little piece of this powerful sales video business. Once we get into week 7, you're getting all of the templates, all of the scripts, all of the strategies. Every single piece of powerful sales video is going to be revealed to you, so you could literally replicate it overnight if you wanted to, copy and paste it from my laptop into yours once we get into week 7. So super excited to share that with you. But before we get to week 7, I'm going to teach you how to build any of these drop servicing businesses step by step, so you know all of the pieces of the puzzle at a high level, but also how to make it as simple as possible to get results as quickly as you can. So now you understand everything there is to know about drop servicing and how to become a drop servicer. Luckily for you, this course details the process in an extremely granular model with tutorials and templates and everything. But remember, no one is above the process. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You do need to focus and put in the work to build the system. No one is going to do this but you. And it's my goal here to provide you with all of the guidance I can and helping you along your journey of transformation. And we're really going to show you how to master drop servicing on an advanced level that no one else out there is covering. So in this course, you're going to learn how to build a real six-figure online business that funds a life of freedom through automation, so you can get consistent sales without worrying about where the next client is coming from. So you really are in the right spot right now, guys, with the blueprint. And I'm super excited to see the transformation you go through. So to conclude this lesson, we covered what drop servicing is, why and how it works, and how it's going to get even better as time moves forward. You now understand the evolution of a drop servicer and the process of transformation you're about to embark on. It's all super exciting and I can't wait to get to the next step with you. Until next time.